tonight is Rated R. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is also Rated R. We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the road we will talk about some adult content and use some of our favorite swear words.
Mole! Moly, 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 moly.
Consider yourselves warned. Welcome to Rocky Horror Minute, the podcast where we break down the Rocky Horror Picture Show in excruciating detail, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Leandra.
And I'm your other host, Kelly.
And today we are continuing our journey into the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and we are on minute 82.
All right. Woo! Give it up, minute 82.
All right, so what happens in this minute, Kelly?
Precious little.
Since you're so excited about it.
Yeah. So, Frank, having just said, can't you just see it? He says, whoa, ho, ho, and then he kind of brings the stool down in front of him before tossing it over behind him. And then he goes, oh, we get an aerial shot, and it's like, we saw there was fog around him. There's like nothing but fog that you can see around Frankenfurter when you get this aerial shot. And then he pinches his nose and raises his other hand in the air, and that I'm jumping in the pool gesture, and jumps indeed to a pool. We hear a splash, and then there's like harp glissando, and the fog gets like blown away. And we see then that Frank is in a pool. He's sitting in an inner tube, like a red and white striped inner tube. When we get an up close view, we'll see it says SS Titanic. He's sitting in it, like seated, you know, with his legs over the top and his arms. So I have thoughts on that. But the bottom of the pool is this amazing recreation of Michelangelo's creation of Adam, which is, if you don't know, that's the painting of God and Adam touching fingers, and Frank is like right in the middle where the fingers would be touching. And then he says, don't dream it, be it. He says this 4 times while just kind of paddling around. The camera zooms down to his face, and we get like a side view. And then we cut to Columbia and Brad, who are still posed. We're seeing the shot from behind them. And we hear the whole floor show crew join in saying, don't dream it, be it. As they start to turn around, we see first Columbia and Brad turn, and we see Janet and Rocky. And then we get another aerial shot of them all walking towards the pool. They say, don't dream it, be it, all together 2 times. And then one more time we hear, don't. And that's the end of the minute.
And a beautiful minute it is.
Yeah.
So, really, I only have a couple of notes, and one of them was, today I realized that there had to be a point in my life when I wouldn't have known that there was a pool under the fog.
Yeah.
And I just see that he's jumping somewhere. So, I think that that's great. Nobody knows that that they're about to have this fun little water aerobics moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not what I would expect to be there when this appears to be like a typical theater. So,
yeah,
really quite shocking.
And then looking at the aerial of this pool, it really makes me realize how insanely deep the stage has to be, like from front, like at the audience, to the way back for it to accommodate the pool. Mm-hmm. Just based off of how tall like Brad and Janet are compared to the pool itself, I'd imagine that it looks like it's like a 10 by 20 pool, which honestly feels like it's too small a pool to do much in. But maybe I'm wrong. How big is like...
Well, they're pretty cozy in it.
Yeah. But like, how big is a normal like backyard pool?
Oh God, I don't know. Now, like an in-ground pool is typically a little bigger, but like if you think about people's like above ground pools, they're usually kind of small.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I know that nobody's swimming laps in this, so it really is just a party pool.
Yeah, which that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That is second only to cruise ships in terms of pools that will give you a disease.
Yeah. I do love that the pool under the fog thing feels incredibly like old Hollywood. We're about to go into like a dream sequence that ends in like water gymnastics or the synchronized swimming sort of thing. That was a fun little moment in old Hollywood where it seemed like lots of movies had that one scene where everybody was in the pool with their fun little outfits.
Yeah, it's almost like I would wonder if he was thinking of like a Busby Berkeley thing, but then there's nothing Busby Berkeley about this. They all just sort of start rubbing on each other.
Oh my
There's
god,
no
spoilers.
synchronized anything. Oh yeah, sorry. They do not go into a Busby Berkeley synchronized routine, which would not have been out of place in this movie at all.
Yeah. So this minute has a total of 6 don't dream it beats. And I think that that is too many.
Yes.
There's just too many.
One of my notes for this minute is I get so bored on stage as any character during this scene. And I hate how many times I have to say don't dream it be it. At some point, like spoilers, this is going to keep going. At some point, I think we all collectively stop actually saying it along with the movie. And I know there's different things that different shadowcasters do. We used to go through the seats in the audience and kind of like get some audience participation, and that way we kind of stopped doing that in COVID, and most of us have not brought that back. To be really honest, the main reason I haven't brought it back is that I'm fat, and it's kind of not fun for anybody as I stomp my way through and smack them in the face with my boobs and knock over their drinks and shit. So, but
Oh no, you titty slapped me. That's so awful.
you say that until you are concussed. But but yeah, I mean like but I don't know. I just never know what to do. I'm kind of just waiting for Dr. Sagat to show his gam so that we can move on.
So I, as Frankenfurter in this, really like trying to get the audience to sing Don't Dream It Be It for me. And like I'll do a little bit of conducting and just keep doing it until some number of people start singing. That
That's a cute idea.
that tends to be fun. I also do a lot of trying to pretend that I am on this life preserver and just kind of spinning around a bit. And it just is me
Yeah.
flailing and flapping my arms and
I was gonna say a mistake I've made a lot of times and still continue to make sometimes when I don't know what else to do as Frank is I start spinning on that life preserver and I keep it going until until we're done with the pool shit, which is a bad thing to do because it makes me so dizzy.
aw. Well, don't do things that make you dizzy bitch.
I know. I know, but I just don't know what else to do, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna wander around the stage rotating, but then afterward I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I'm up for a kick line right about now, but
That's why you
alright.
do that. Oh my god.
Well, what did you think I was
Being
doing?
you.
You thought it was a coincidence that I was doing that while the character on screen was rotating around in a inner tube?
I mean, he only does that very briefly. So the fact that you do it for so long, I was like, she just must like spinning around. Like, oh my
I mean,
god.
yeah, I keep it going just to be silly because I just don't know what else to do. It's not like I can do what he's doing because I don't have people to rub on and fraught with and lick, but
That's fair. You could
yeah.
always lick me. Please don't. Please don't. I
Okay.
lied.
I will.
No!
Nope. Leandra, cut everything after I said I will. Leandra, in post, remove all of your own protestations. Uh,
Hey, wait a second.
yeah. Um, Richard O'Brien in the commentary called that first aerial shot where we see Frank, the $1 million shot, and I'm inclined to agree. It's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
However, two complaints. One, there is no way, based on how he jumped, that he would be sitting in the tube that way.
No way. No.
Unless I was like, is this meant to be like a little bit of a time skip, like with the glissando? I don't know. And two, it says SS Titanic, which I find fascinating and weird because the ship was not an American ship, so it was, of course, called the RMS Titanic. So this prop, and this is a British people making this movie, so it's not like they would have been like America brained. I mean, maybe Brian Thompson was, but he wasn't American either. What the fuck?
Yeah, I would love to have an answer for that, but I don't.
And I'm like, did they buy this like goofy prop just somewhere that already said that on it? But then I was like, they didn't make this movie. Uh, well, I guess I feel like it seems like most of their costume and prop sourcing was done in England. So I continue to be very confused by that, how that came about. It's just fascinating to me. I don't even really care. I'm not like, oh boy, I hope someone got fired for that blunder. I'm just like, it had to have been an American person because no British person would jump to thinking of, SS Titanic.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's also interesting to me that I always wonder how big of a thing in pop culture Titanic was, before the James Cameron movie, because I don't really have memories from before that time. But I guess quite big.
It was pretty much in the audience's subconscious at the very least. Like I'm thinking of the fact that A Night to Remember was a very well-known movie about the sinking of the Titanic. I know
Mm,
that it was later, but in Ghostbusters they referenced it. And yeah, it's just I imagine that it's one of those one of those things that people were still thinking about, but it's been long enough that you can kind of be silly about it.
yeah, it's not too soon.
Although that does remind me of a very stupid callback. I don't even know exactly when it. No, I do remember when it happened. Kelly, remind me to share my stupid callback right before Magenta says. No, right before Riff says, our noble mission is almost completed. So put that in your notes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stupid joke.
There's no chance I'll forget
Yeah.
that.
Oh, it's gonna be so sad that that we're leading up to that. But listeners, you have like, I don't know, 6 minutes before that happens or more.
Yeah, and listeners also remind me to share what Richard O'Brien and Patricia Quinn were talking about in the commentary in this scene because it was not really mostly about this minute. They were mostly talking about something that happens when Rocky is carrying Frank later. But it's a great detail that I don't want to forget about. So listeners, remind me, okay?
How
Thanks.
would they do that? Perhaps
They'll
in a five-star
5-star review
review
on
on
Apple
Apple
Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that that's a good choice. Otherwise, do you have any other notes?
No, but I heard someone mention callbacks.
Callbacks? You've got
Callbacks?
callbacks.
I do.
All right, go for it.
When we hear the harp music, it is very similar to the Simpsons opening, so always a good choice to go The Simpsons. And then shout out to a beloved cast member Lee who always does a great Jacques Cousteau as we're zooming down onto Frank. He does a whole as we lower the cameraman into transvestite infested waters. we see the predator in search of a mate. And then he usually goes off on like a Werner Herzog tangent that gets like really existential, but it's always a good time. I always enjoy hearing it, and it's a fun one to do. Or if you don't want to do that, as the cameraman is, or as the camera is, again, like zooming down to Frank, you can say, "This movie's so gay, even the cameraman goes down." And then you can say, "This movie's so gay, Frank can't even float straight." And wasn't there something else, Leandra? There's another one of those.
Yeah, something along the lines of now we know what happened to the Titanic and the.
Well, I mean, I know, but there's another one of those, like, "This blank so gay blank," I thought.
Oh, I'll have to think about that.
Maybe not. Um, well, another one you can say is, "Leandra, what's the difference between Frank and the Titanic?"
We know how many sailors went down on the Titanic.
Correct. Classic. I actually really like doing that one.
Yeah.
And then the only other one I have is when they start to turn around. Turn around, bright eyes. It's not a great one, but what else are you doing? You know?
I have another option for that moment.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I will get to it. First, let's
Oh.
go from the top of this minute.
Record scratch. You're probably wondering how I got here. 1 minute earlier.
So, oh, that's what we get for recording two in a night. Okay, so right after whoa, and Frank jumps, you can say, "All right, virgins, now blow," and the fog goes away.
That's fun.
And then there are a couple of things that you can say during the "Don't Dream It" beats. One that I particularly like is, "Wait, should I dream it? Oh, so I should be it. Wait, can you say that
Oh,
again?"
shit. I just forgot about my favorite one.
Which one?
It's very important. As they say that over and over, you can say instead, "Don't drink it, Frank peed in it."
Oh, I
And
hate that
then,
one.
and then when I'm playing Frank, I say I peed in it instead. And that brings a little truth to my performance.
Yeah, yeah. It's still awful though. That's like one of my least favorite ones, and I think that it's because I've gone to shows where they get the audience all singing "Don't Drink It, Frank Pete" in it, and it's one of those ones that if you say it once, it's like fine, but if you say it 14 times, it makes me very irritable.
No, I only say it the couple of times and then I move on with my life. Um, but I like talking about peeing my pants, so.
Yeah, there's a level of verisimilitude to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, next up, we've got a series of callbacks related to the beautiful artwork on the bottom of the pool. You say, "The ceiling, Michelangelo, the ceiling. This is the last time I hire a Ninja Turtle to paint my chapel."
I like that one.
And then the link between God and man is a transvestite. And then the other one, again related to the pool, is, "And God said unto Adam, pull my finger." Which is funny because it's a fart joke. And then instead of the "turn around, bright eyes," you can say, "Did somebody say Toll House cookies?" That was an ad from many a year ago where people get very excited for Toll House cookies.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just remembered the other blank so gay blank
Yeah.
one, which is just this movie's so gay even the Titanic goes down.
Oh, that's nice. It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
one.
When you do all three of them, like if you've got a couple of people doing all three of them like one after another, it is a fun effect.
I did have one other note that I just remembered, and it's to shout out a cast member of ours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it
so
me?
no, it's never you.
Leandra, you shouldn't have.
You're right. You're right, actually. I shouldn't have, so I didn't. No, this is Donna. She gave her idea as to why there are beach chairs in the audience, and she was like, I attributed it to it being an extension of the Titanic motif in the pool, and this is kind of like a cruise sort of setup that Frank had going on. I'm paraphrasing, of course. She put more thought into it, but I thought that that was interesting. It would make
Yeah,
sense that the two would be tied together in some way because
absolutely.
Frank loves a theme.
He does. So there you go. 2 cast member shoutouts, and really 3 if you count myself.
Which you
I
shouldn't, so it's just 2. But now
you don't
you have to go home,
so
but you can't stay here, so get the fuck out.
Fuck out.
To the late night double feature picture